Hello everybody, welcome back to another year-end related video. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about, really in no particular order with the exception of really number one, um, my favorite reissues of the year, at least the ones that I got around to, getting into a little bit. I have others that I received. I actually got a couple for Christmas, but I can't in good conscience throw them into this. Um, Stack of records just because again one of them I haven't listened to, one of them I just listened to today and can't really compare it to any kind of original. But I've got a bunch of vinyl, well, really nine, technically 10 pieces of vinyl I think, and a CD, but two of the records for vinyl go together. And actually I'll just go ahead and start those off first. So again, these are records that are either remastered versions of an original copy, or I'm also throwing in the idea that a couple of these are, you know, it's old music that's been released, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. These count as one, but I love these things. They come out on Real Gone Music, and they are Frankie Stein and his Ghouls. It's a collection of novelty songs. I've talked about it ad nauseum. I know I talked about it in October around Halloween, but these are just fun party records that have a bunch of monster sound effects, kind of garage type music, rock and roll, surf music with like cauldrons bubbling and that kind of stuff. And Real Gone just released the final two of the five records I think that he put out. And again, there's a lot of mystery as to who was actually on those records. Um, and then there's monster sounds and dance music, but the covers are fantastic. They always do a great job with the sound quality. The individual specialty vinyl is really cool as well. So I'm gonna go with Frankie Stein and his Ghouls. If you like that kind of party music for next Halloween, go online on Real Gone's website, check those out. They're really fun. Um, Let me go ahead and I'll just keep up with the fun here. This was released by Rhino as part of their uh 2024. I don't even know like what you would call that kind of series. I don't know, whatever. It's the Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. This is the official soundtrack that was put together by Randy Newman on Warner Records. There's that. But I love this movie. It's a top 10 movie for me. Definitely, possibly my favorite comedy of all time. Directed, written by Lorne Michaels, Steve Martin, Randy Newman. Um, Comedy Western about these three silent film stars that a village in Mexico believes to be, the actual gunfighters, and invite them to come and fight off this gang that's terrorizing the village. It's hilarious. But really good stuff. All the music's by uh, Randy Newman, but Blue Shadows on the Trail, um, My Little Buttercup, um, let me see, The Singing Bush. Uh, just really funny stuff. There's some dialogue there. I know my boy Josh over at the Flip Side really liked that when it came out. So when I saw that came out, first time ever on vinyl since 1987. Very happy to have the Three Amigos. Love that movie. Uh, Next, let's go ahead and do this. This was an awesome set. It was kind of a surprise set put out by the Tom Petty estate. This is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Gennaro tapes from Edinburgh in 1985. This is during the uh, Long After Dark tour. Really cool stuff. It came, it was limited to what, 3,000 um, on this turquoise vinyl. Again, sorry for the glare, but really cool the way it's packaged. Super thick vinyl. It sounds really good. It's essentially, cut directly from the board. So it's got some good sound quality to it. If you like Tom Petty in the 80s, check that out. Really good rock and roll live record. Next, let's go to another live record. This was originally put out in 2021, I believe, on CD. This is Austin City Limits Live, January 23rd, 2020, so just before lockdown. This is the duo Watch House, who were formerly known as Mandolin Orange, as you can see by the hype. And when this first came out on CD, it was Mandolin Orange. And actually, I purchased the CD when I really started getting into these guys during COVID. They're one of my COVID, kind of deep dives. But the CD has a slight little skip on it. It doesn't affect the runtime or anything like that. You don't have to skip the song, but there's like a little break, and then it takes it a minute for it to start. And I remember I tried to return it, and they said, it was the last one. They returned me my money. They didn't charge me for it. But to have a clean copy and now on vinyl is really, really cool to have. So if you like, kind of acoustic, really soft kind of melodies, this is great. Andrew Marlin and Emily France, their husband and wife duo out of North Carolina. This is really, really good stuff. So happy to have that on vinyl. That was early this year. This came out around Christmas time. Real Gone Music again always puts out a new reissue for the holiday season, maybe a couple. They just put this one out. This is the Mormon Tabernacle Choir sings Christmas carols. This is the very first CD, and this is the very first of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir recordings. Obviously, you see those concerts played a lot, like on PBS this time of year on public television, and really since this came out in 1958. It's never been reissued, even though it's one of the better selling Christmas albums. But if you love, that choral kind of high church type singing, this is really, really good stuff. It's great, Christmas Eve type music. And I really enjoyed this. I got this just a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, they've put out, 50 or 60 records. I think they put out every year that they do the Christmas performance. I've read that they release it on CD the following Christmas. So this is the very first of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir Christmas CDs. So very happy to have that. Very cool. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. So let me jump to this. I don't have the Obi on me, the Obi strip, but this was one of the Rhino High Fidelity records that came out this year. It was one of 2 that I purchased. This is obviously American Beauty by the Grateful Dead. This was their big kind of folky Americana record, but it has that Grateful Dead sound on it. This has great tunes on it. Broke Down Palace, Truckin', Ripple, Box of Rain, which became very poignant this year when we lost Phil Lesh, the bassist of the Grateful Dead, original bassist. That was kind of his signature song. Friend of the Devil is on here, Operator, Candyman. It's just so many great hits, but my buddy Alex will appreciate this. My one qualm with this record is that the track order on it, I think, is completely wrong. I think it's not the Rhino. It's the same as the original, but I'm just saying the original record, I think the track order should have been different. I think they should have ended with Ripple. They shouldn't have ended with Truckin'. They should have opened with Truckin'. Maybe side 2 open with Box of Rain. Side 1 can close with Broke Down Palace. I just think it's very poorly sequenced, but Rhino does a great job on these things. This is, for those that are interested, number 3717 out of 5,000. So, I'm a cool guy. Next, let's kind of stick to Rhino here, technically. This is the Monkees headquarters. Now, this was originally part of a record company called Run Out Grooves, which is essentially kind of become defunct. I think Rhino Records kind of absorbed them. Now, what happened was the first 2 Monkees records, which are the self-titled, the Monkees, and then More of the Monkees, were cut from the original analog tapes and distributed as, Run Out Groove records, and then Run Out Grooves disappeared. And so we went like a year, and we had heard so much that, they've already cut, several of these other original albums, and we didn't get it. I mean, this is a great package. I mean, it's, that thick cardboard kind of package. It's not a tip-on jacket, but everything is right there on the cardboard. It comes with a great booklet, which I won't get out because this thing is kind of hard to disassemble. I'm actually waiting to get some oversized sleeves in the mail in the next couple of days so I can actually fit these things in there. But this has a whole disc of bonus cuts. For, a lot of them are from the box set that came out, the CD box set in 2022. You have some like, TV versions, this and that. But this is the Monkees record. It was their third record. This is produced and put together by Andrew Sandoval, who's a longtime Monkees collaborator. He's worked also with the Zombies, with the Kinks. Very, very well established. This is the album that the Monkees said we're going to play our own instruments, and for the most part they do. Their buddy Chip Douglas is also on this record quite a bit, but they're still pulling from the great writers, Neil Diamond and Goffin and King and people like that. But you're also getting some great Michael Nesmith tunes on here, and yeah, just fun tracks like "You Told Me," "For Pete's Sake," which is the series end credit song that you would always get. But this is a great put together, and hopefully in 2025 they'll put out a couple of these so that we can keep getting these original Monkees albums, and they sound great. They really do. Let's see. Next, let's go to Tom Petty again. A lot of people got this. This is Long After Dark, Tom Petty's fifth album. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, his fifth album. This has the song "You Got Lucky" on it, which was a big hit. Also has the minor hit "Change of Heart," but also some great tunes on here, like "Straight Into Darkness," "Ways to Be Wicked." Excuse me, not Ways to Be Wicked. That was a bonus cut. Yeah, "Straight Into Darkness." I'm stupid. Yeah, not "Ways to Be Wicked." "Between Two Worlds," "Deliver Me." It's a really good rock and roll record, but this also has a whole disc of bonus cuts like "The Stories We Could Tell," which was the John Sebastian song from the Lovin' Spoonful, "Ways to Be Wicked," which is a great kind of B-side. They do a version of "Wild Thing," the Trogs tune. This is the Tom Petty store exclusive kind of aluminum type special edition deluxe vinyl. This was tip-on jacket, 180 gram. I think this was limited to a couple thousand. This is number 2406, so I don't think it was 5,000. But anyway, happy to have that, a nice, good copy of that album. I paid too much for it, but such is life. Last two here, again, number 2 is not even in any real order. This is just really cool to now have on vinyl, and I know a few buddies of mine, Brian over at Shamrockin' Records, Alex at Beer and Vinyl, are also in the same camp with me. I think my buddies, Robert S. and Tom Robert S. and Tom Hunyadi also got this, but this is Mignonette by the Avett Brothers. This was put out in conjunction with their Broadway play called Swept Away, which is named after a song on this record, which is closing on Broadway at the end of this month, so in a few days. I think the 29th is the last show. But this is kind of the first Avett Brother record that they really started coming into their own as songwriters. It was still on the Ramser Records label, so they hadn't signed with Rick Rubin yet in American. This is from 2003, I believe. 2003 or 4. It might be 2004. I think it was 2004, maybe the 20th anniversary. But great stuff on here, like Swept Away. They have 2 different versions of that. SSS is a great tune. Salvation Song, which is one of the great Avett Brothers album closers. But keep in mind, they also have a couple of hidden tracks on side 4, so don't take the needle off. At the Beach is always a fun song to hear live. Hard Worker is a fun upbeat tune. One Line Wonder might be my favorite on here. Great banjo, and just a great record. I really like this. The Avett Brothers are still raw in their production and raw in their singing, but this is really cool to have on record. It was beautifully put together. Again, it was only ever released on CD, and it's got these picture inner sleeves. handwritten lyrics. Nice gray, kind of silver vinyl, and 2 discs. So very happy to have that. Again, I'm waiting to get some larger inner sleeves because this thing is a lot, a lot thicker than most of my records. But without a doubt, my number one favorite, again, none of those were ranked or anything, but my number one favorite by far, it is the best sounding album in my collection, hands down. Although I did just receive another record by him that came out, well, a reissue that came out, so I'm interested to see what that sounds like on the turntable. Again, I just got it Christmas Day yesterday, but it is this album right here, Tony Rice, Church Street Blues, put out by Craft Recordings. If you want to hear great acoustic guitar picking, with, a kind of a progressive, it's considered progressive bluegrass, but it's not progressive bluegrass. When I think progressive bluegrass now, I think like, Billy Strings. This is just a beautiful record. This is kind of one of his, masterpieces, if you will, on the Sugar Hill label, which I love that record label. He does some great covers. He does a version of One More Night, the Nashville Skyline Bob Dylan track. He does Church Street Blues, Streets of London, Orphan Annie, House Carpenter, Last Thing on My Mind. Yeah, it's just really, really good stuff on here. The acoustic guitar just sounds fantastic. His brother, Wyatt, is playing the rhythm guitar, but it's just Tony and Wyatt on this record. Fantastic, singing, fantastic playing. The song selections are great. Put it on the turntable, turn it up. You can hear the tones and those Martin guitars. It's just so beautiful. Again, I know my buddy Glenn Kellaway picked this up per my suggestion, and it's just a beautiful sounding record. I think it's the best that I have in my collection. I have no interest in an original, though. If you have an original, it's probably worth a little bit of money. But I am just so happy to have that, and yeah, I haven't gotten tired of spinning that one. I spun it several times this year. Just a great kind of, rainy day kind of record to hear those acoustic guitars. It's beautiful. So Church Street Blues by Tony Rice from Craft Recordings is my favorite reissue of 2024. I'd love to know what y'all's favorites are. If you have any of these, I know, again, I saw several people show the Tom Petty throughout the few months since that's come out. Again, I've got others that I could have shown. I know that there were, several that I have in my collection that I just haven't spent the same amount of time on, but I'm sure over time they'll grow on me. But these are the ones that I have. Let me know what you think of these. Let me know if I missed any really good ones that I should take note of. Again, there were several by the Grateful Dead that I also picked up. Mars Hotel, Shakedown Street also came out earlier this year, I believe, and those are really good too. But anyway, I'll stop rambling. Hope everybody had a great Christmas holiday season. I know Hanukkah's going on. I hope everybody's enjoying that celebrates, and hopefully I'll have another video or two, hopefully at least one more before the end of the year rolls around here. But if I don't, I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. Thank you all so much for the support this year. It really means the world. Picked up almost 500 subscribers this year. So I'll just keep pushing next year. But anyway, in the meantime, y'all be good. Take care, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye now.